This is lesson 19-1, statistical questions. Our essential question, what is a statistical question? We have one vocab word. A statistical question is a question that anticipates there will be different answers in the data. Example 1, tell whether or not the question is statistical. So here's our question. How many siblings do students in your class have? Now that is a good statistical question because the answers could be very different. Some people might have no siblings. Some people might have 3, 4, 5, 7, 10 siblings. So the answers can be very, very different. So that makes it a good question. Example number 2, give a statistical question that could be used to gather data on the topic. And our topic is the number of pets classmates own. So one question we might ask about that is how many pets do you own? Because again, that can give us a lot of different answers. We're not asking what kinds of pets, we're asking how many. Kind of like the last question about how many siblings. So how many pets do you own? Would be a good question about that topic. Example 3, again, like number 1, tell whether or not the question is statistical. In which month is your birthday? So this question is not a good statistical question because the answers are not going to be very different. We know there's only 12 months in the year, so every single person that you ask is going to say one of those 12 months. So our answers, even though they could be a little bit different, somebody might be born in January, somebody might be born in March, we're going to have a lot of the same answers in general. So example 4 is like number 2. We're going to give a question that can be used to gather data on this topic. Weights of pumpkins for sale. So a question we might ask about that is how much does each pumpkin weigh? How many pounds? So let's say how many pounds is each pumpkin? And again, this is a good question because we're going to get a lot of different answers. It's going to be very rare that many of the pumpkins would be the same weight. They're mostly going to be different weights, so that gives us a lot of different answers. And you have 3 practice problems. The first 2, you're just telling if it's statistical or not. And then the third one, you're coming up with a question like we did. Remember, it is a good statistical question if there can be a lot of different answers. So just remember that. Don't forget a word problem or a question, and rate your understanding.